awesome. I love it. Hey everybody, I'm Vera Stewart and welcome to the VeryVera Show. Well, it kind of looks like we might be drinking instead of doing food preparation today, but actually I'm very excited to welcome Ann Sloan, who is a certified beer cicerone, a former marine biologist, and she is now the assistant brewer at Riverwatch Brewery with her mom, Bray Sloan. Welcome, Ann.
Thanks, Vera.
We're so glad to have you. And today we're going to be pairing beer with food, and we're actually going to be cooking with beer today, too. So we're very excited. We're going to do a German cheese sauce that I love. And what would you recommend that we cook with and pair with that?
This you'd want a lighter German style, like a Helles or a Vienna Lager or an Oktoberfest, and then you'd want to drink a similar beer as a pairing.
Sounds great. And then we're going to do a grilled bratwurst in a crock pot smothered with onions.
This one you'd want to cook with a slightly more intense German style beer, maybe like a Bock or an Oktoberfest also would work here, and then you could drink it with either one of those beers.
Oh wow, sounds great. And then finally we're going to do a German cucumber slaw to kind of mix it all up at the end. So sounds like we need to get started. So let's get started and put some of this beer to work.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, Ann, so we are busy getting ready to make this beer cheese sauce. And you know, everything in the kitchen a lot of times starts with the roux. So a roux is just basically butter that I'm going to add my flour to, and I want it to get a little bit toasty. So in terms of making this, what beer would you recommend that I pour into this when it's ready for the beer component?
Well, since you want it to get a little toasty, you want your beer to have a little bit of a toasty flavor too.
Oh, good idea.
Beers that would have that would be something like a Vienna Lager, but as this is Oktoberfest, I think it would be most apt to put an Oktoberfest in it.
Oh, well, that's a great idea. Well, tell me about this Oktoberfest that actually starts in September.
So it's the last week of September, pretty much through the first week of October, and it actually started in 1810, and it was for a royal wedding, actually. Yeah. But now it's just pretty much just a big party held in Munich every year.
Well, you know, it's funny how things come full circle. You know, you've got the outfit that you had in the 70s that's now popular again, and now beer is served a lot at weddings instead of mixed drinks.
Yeah.
And so you're telling me that back in 1810, they were using beer at a wedding reception for the royals, for heaven's sakes.
The Bavarian royals, they loved their beers, actually.
Well, on this, the other thing I like to, point out is when you're making a roux, you want to add this milk kind of slowly, because part of what you want to do here is get it to be, just the right thickness. But a beer cheese sauce is great with vegetables, it's great with pretzels or chips. So it comes in really handy this time of year if you're planning an Oktoberfest, celebration, or certainly football tailgating. It would be amazing. In fact, I could see some of my friends and family members maybe adding a little bit extra beer to their beer cheese sauce. All right, so I'm adding this milk. Now tell me a little bit about Riverwatch Brewery in downtown Augusta.
So we're actually the first production brewery in Augusta since Prohibition.
Wow.
So long time for Augusta not to have a brewery. We are locally owned, family operated, but what I think is really cool about our brewery is actually we're 100% women brewed. Our whole entire brew staff is ladies, and I think that's kind of what makes us special. It's me and my mom, and then we have.
And her name is Bray.
Her name is Bray, yeah, and she's a retired Army colonel. But it's been fun. It's been great to bring a brewery to Augusta. It's been really cool to see Augusta, growing and thriving and everything.
Well, and that's such a unique aspect for downtown too, with all the renovation that's going on downtown and bringing downtown back. And you were a marine biologist?
Yeah, I studied in Australia, but I couldn't really get a job in the field. So when my mom was opening up the brewery, I was like, you know what? I like beer. Let's do it.
She probably already knew you liked beer.
Yeah, well, when you go to a school that, in Australia where you can drink at 18.
Okay, now this is your beer.
Yep.
This is the Oktoberfest. Look what a beautiful amber color that is. So just as you said, that's going to be great with the fact that I kind of toasted the flour and butter in the roux. Add that to it. And I've got some already made there that you can see what a nice, great color it is. I'm going to add some cheddar cheese and Swiss cheese to it, but you could do some other things. You could put jalapeno peppers in it. There's lots of different things. So this is really good served warm. So when we come back from the break, I'm going to be adding in the cheeses, and then we're going to get started on a bratwurst that we're going to do in a crock pot with a bunch of smothered onions and everything. And then we're going to actually also be doing a giveaway on the program today. So come back with us in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody, and if you're just joining us, I'm with Ann Sloan, who is a certified Cicerone. You're the only certified Cicerone I know.
That's awesome.
I'm so excited. And she is the assistant brewer at Riverwatch Brewery right here in downtown Augusta, and I'm so happy to have you. And while we were away during the break, we finished the beer cheese sauce. We put that Oktoberfest beer in it because she said it has a little bit of a toasty flavor. I cannot wait to try it. And we're finishing up right now on the next course we're going to do, which would be awesome if your husband or your brothers or your boyfriend loves Sunday football or Saturday college football, and you really can't get into it, but you want them to think you're really cool and you come up with a fantastic menu. This would be it, to have some of these going along with that beer cheese dip. So I've gotten started and basically finished on a bratwurst that we've grilled on top of my induction cooktop with an emerald cast iron griddle, which is fantastic. But if you don't want to go to this much trouble to do that, the Fresh Market always has their smoked bratwurst, which we're just going to get some grill marks on, so I'll let you continue with that. But that makes the process go a little bit faster. You don't have to cook these all the way, Ann, because I'm going to be putting those in the crock pot. So while I'm getting started with that, I'd love for you to tell me what you think, which beer I ought to put in to this recipe, as well as what beer would be great served with it.
So because the bratwursts have a lot more flavor and everything, you can have a beer that has a lot more flavor. It's going to just enhance it. So you can do something like a Hefeweizen if you wanted to do that, or you could put a Bock, or today, because it is Oktoberfest, we're going to do that because Oktoberfest is a great beer. But you can cook with a lot of different beers. Pretty much you just don't want anything that's really hoppy or really sour. You just want to keep those flavors in the nice malty range.
Well, that sounds wonderful. And I'm going to put my crock pot on high for this and get started with this part of it. So while you're grilling those, I'm going to add in just a huge amount of sliced Vidalias, just right there on top of those. And I did spray the bottom of the crock pot just so it wouldn't be a mess to clean up. That's the only reason why you need to do that. And then all these other yummy things like some minced garlic. Tell me a little bit about your Cicerone training, Ann.
So I did Cicerone training. I started off doing Cicerone training with a bunch of sommeliers, actually, which is a little weird.
Beer and wine.
Beer and wine, but they already had a developed palate, so it really helped me for learning beer styles. Cicerone covers everything from draft systems all the way to food and beer pairing, a lot of history of beer, how to make beer, the ingredients that go into making beer and everything.
I think that's probably what's so interesting about how you pair it with the food is the actual ingredients, because when we start cooking with beer, it's just another ingredient.
Yeah.
It's a spice.
Exactly.
You know, instead of chicken broth, we're going to put beer. So I've added some salt and pepper to these onions. Now I'm going to just dollop some butter on top. So where did you do this training?
I did it mostly just in coffee shops, actually. I learned quickly that you need to study while drinking coffee and then drink beer afterwards.
Oh, interesting.
Otherwise, you don't retain it as well. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I got to learn a lot, and I got exposed to a lot of different beer styles that I wouldn't have been exposed to before. And I found it was a really great base level for me getting into the beer industry.
Well, you know, as I'm adding this Oktoberfest beer to the crock pot, it reminds me of a segment that we did on Vera's Corner last season, where people were writing in, what beer do you recommend cooking for this recipe, that recipe. So we did a segment on which beer to use, and that was before I knew you. But if you want to refer back to that, it's on our YouTube channel, so that would be a good thing for you to do if you're interested in that. But again, this could be a pot roast instead of bratwurst, and instead of adding your liquid, you would just add beer. So we're going to turn this on high, we're going to let that start cooking, and when we come back from the break, we're going to have a section of Vera's Corner today about which glass to use to bring out the most flavor, and you're going to introduce us to that. And then we've got a great giveaway that Ann is wonderful about giving for us that's going to go to somebody in all 8 of our television markets. So come back with us in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody, and Ann, thank you so much for all of that information on the beer glasses. You know, I always thought it was just people were trying to be cool, but there's a lot more going on than that.
You can be cool with your glasses still.
And putting them in the freezer, too. I know that's
bad for your beer.
That's bad,
That's
really?
bad for your beer, yep.
Okay, we're going to take ours out of the freezer in Beaufort, hubby. We're not going to do that anymore. That was very interesting. So during the break, I went ahead and got ready for the cucumber dill salad. It's very fresh, very crisp, and I sliced the cucumbers very thinly on the mandolin. And one of the twists that I like to do to this authentic German recipe is to salt down the cucumbers. I do layers and just add a little bit of kosher salt and then let it sit overnight. So now it's created all of that liquid just from kind of extracting it from the cucumbers, and now they're going to have that nice little crisp crunch. So because this is salt water, I'm just going to walk up to the sink real quick and get the salt drained off of those. So all you want to do is put it down in a colander and just take some cold water and just really get a lot of that salt off of those cucumbers. All righty. Now, and this is a trick that I learned from my former mother-in-law, and it's amazing. So we're just going to take this, and you're going to squeeze the rest of the juice out with your hands, and then you're going to just put it on a towel, and then we're going to do it just like you do your sweaters when you wash them and you wring them out. So while I'm working on this, I want you to work on the dill sauce.
Okay.
So you've got sour cream and salt, sugar, a little white vinegar, and fresh dill. So this recipe actually would be great, you know, is like the salad accompaniment to those bratwursts that are cooking. Don't they smell delicious?
They smell great.
In the crock pot. So if you were going to do this maybe with a summer barbecue or something, what beer would you think would be really good with this?
Well, if you're at a summer barbecue, I always feel like you need a Pilsner.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's nice, light, easy drinking, and they're just absolutely beautiful. If you're not a Pilsner fan, an American Blonde Ale would be another great option, though.
Oh, okay. And I know I'm not going to put the glass in the freezer. Well, isn't that funny? Because in restaurants, a lot of times they'll ask you if you want it chilled.
Chilled is one thing, frozen is another.
Oh, okay. Well, now that's good to know, too. You were nice enough to give me the tour of the brewery, too. So let's talk about that for a minute.
So when you come on the tour, we take you back into the brewery, and you get to see everything right up close and personal. We take you to the brew house, and
Oh, it was so much fun.
we show you everything. We explain how we make the beer, and then we take you into the cellar where you can see the really big, tall tanks that we've got, where all the fermentation happens. And
It was
and then
so cool.
if you're really lucky, we might even pour you a quick sample off one of the serving tanks.
I'm not telling. I'm not telling. Okay, and then tell us a little bit about distribution, because that's so exciting.
So we've been distributing in Georgia for in the Augusta area for a while, but we just started distributing in South Carolina. We're really excited for that. So we crossed the state line, and then hopefully in the next few weeks we should have bottles of beer out too.
Oh man. Okay, so now I'm going to let you add that in, and we're going to mix this up. And when we come back from the break, we're going to put all of this together and make it look very festive for Oktoberfest. But we're going to do a giveaway in all 8 markets. So I want you to get your pen and paper ready to learn about that. So come back with us in just a few minutes. Gosh, Ann, we have learned so much. You haven't, because you've taught us and everybody out there so much about beer pairings and what beer to use when you're cooking food. And certainly our recipes are always available at VeryVera.com. So, you know, think about beer as an ingredient. So let's kind of walk back through what we did today. So we started with the beer cheese dip, which was really good. Nice roux, got it toasty. We added that nice toasted beer flavor to it. Added in the cheeses, and this will last in the refrigerator for a couple of weeks. Awesome. So if you want to make it, makes quite a bit. You can reheat it up, works great. Then we went to the bratwurst that we did in the crock pot, so no real mess other than the griddle, but you could also cook the bratwurst outside on the grill. We added in the onions, garlic, 2 bottles of your Oktoberfest beer went into that crock pot. It just smells great in this kitchen right now. So that's another really nice thing about cooking with beer. It creates a really great aroma in the house. And then finally, the cucumbers, which you said you love cucumbers. I can't wait for you to try this recipe. And it's German with the dill and the sour cream. And then I did a twist with it with a little bit of salt, squeezed out those cucumbers really well. And so you see it's a nice fluffy salad. So we've laid it out, very casual presentation. This would be great for tailgating, for having people over to watch the game on Sunday. Just perfect for that. So, you know, as we talk about your distribution that's coming up really soon and your brewery, we certainly want to recommend that everybody that's within the sound of my voice is going to their local beer store, liquor store, and suggesting that they carry Riverwatch Brewery beer. That's a tongue twister. And, you know, I'm so excited for you, what you've done in the downtown area. So talk a little bit more about the different beers that you've got there.
So we've got some core beers that are available year-round, like our Blonde Ale, our Pale Ale, our Cautionary Tale, which is our IPA, and then we do limited releases. We've got seasonal, so our Oktoberfest is a limited release because it's only really great for, you know,
right, for a short
Oktoberfest
period of time.
But then our summer seasonal is a lime wheat beer. We do a fall beer, which is a brown ale. We put out a Belgian triple style in the winter. We like to, you know, keep it changing, always keep it fun and everything.
Well, and for those of you that, you know, like to cook, it's just like guys that love to think of the different rubs to put on the meat, to put on the grill. Think of a different beer to add to something where liquid isn't part of it. Spaghetti sauce, chili, all these things. The alcohol actually cooks out. So if you're worried about that, you know, it's going to cook out, but you're going to be left with the unbelievable flavor. So in terms of people coming in to visit you here locally in Augusta, what are your hours?
We're open Wednesdays to Saturday, Wednesday from 5 to 9, and then Saturday from 1 to 9. We do different events throughout the week, so sometimes we have trivia, we do pint nights,
cool.
we have a mug club. It's pretty fun. We always try to keep it fresh.
Well, speaking of mug club and all this, you've got a giveaway that you're going to do, so tell us about the giveaway.
So we're giving away for everybody in each of the markets. They get a Oktoberfest mug, they get a koozie, they get a sticker, we've got a ball marker over here, and they also get one of our t-shirts.
Yes, and I love this green color. I love the purple and the green. That's kind of very Vera. So what we need everybody to do is to like the post, share the post, comment where you're watching, what television station are you watching, and you know, certainly for our new markets, Wilmington, Indianapolis, this will be a great way for you to learn more about VeryVera. Just lots going on. So you know, and I cannot thank you enough for being part of this today.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Well, it was so educational, so entertaining, and I always say on the VeryVera show, no matter what you do it in good taste, and certainly tasting all of this is going to be a lot of fun. I hope that you'll come back and join us. I want you to certainly reach out for this contest, and next week we're going to do a dinner party, and there's going to be lots of things about how to host a dinner party, how to set the table. So come back and join us next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.